Hey guys, what's up? Alec back with the daily stock market, and look at that, pretty flat day in the stock market on Friday in general, but we had some individual stocks down pretty big, like Nvidia and Tesla, both down around 5%. Tesla is now up 59% in the past month, and if we go back just a little bit further from January 3rd to its peak, it rallied 90% to $207 per share. So in this video, we're going to talk all about Tesla, what's going on with Tesla, if it's going to head back down, if it's going to skyrocket back to $300 per share. Don't forget, we have another big earnings week this week, so make sure you're strapped in once again. Monday before the open, we have Palantir reporting, which is going to be an interesting one. Tuesday, we have Coca-Cola, which typically spends big dollars in advertising for the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about Coca-Cola in this video and how the Super Bowl benefits it, somewhat of a Super Bowl special. We'll also talk about Airbnb because they're reporting Tuesday after the close as well. Now, Wednesday before open, we have Roblox, The Trade Desk, we have Kraft Heinz, Krispy Kreme Ryder. Wednesday after the close, we have Shopify, which is going to be a super interesting one that we definitely want to be diving into. Roku, another interesting one. Cisco, Marathon Oil, Twilio, and then Thursday before the open, we have Datadog, Crocs, Paramount, we have Hasbro, Shake Shack, and then Thursday after the close, DraftKings, which is going to be a very scrutinized earnings and can probably move huge double digits one way or the other. So make sure you stay throughout this entire video so you don't miss out on any of these stocks. And by the way, Friday we have John Deere and AMC Networks reporting. Some thread that a lot of people are posting how much they made, 50% gains. Took Profit's going to enjoy my weekend now. Another 50% gains, 43% gains, $200, $240. And this was all just on Friday too, by the way. 58% gains, 20% gains, couple $100 made on Friday for lots and lots of people that are in that Discord. So send me a message here on Instagram if you want to be a part of the close friends list and the Discord as well. The first stock that we're going to be talking about today is Tesla, down around 6% on Friday, up 59% in the past week. Okay, we already talked about it briefly, but in the past year, it's down 55%. This is a stock that moves rather quickly. Here we can see since 2021, the price movements, we've seen a 30% downward movement in just the span of a few months. And then from May 21st, 2021 to the end of the year around November, we saw a 110% rally to $400 per share, followed by a 30% sell-off, followed by a 26% gain, followed by another 30% sell-off, followed by a 40% gain. And then recently, we've seen one of the biggest sell-offs, down around 50 to 60% from September 2022 to the end of the year, December 2022. Okay, so with one of the biggest sell-offs on Tesla, we should be seeing one of the biggest rallies. And yes, we've seen a 90% rally. So there's a good chance, just off the, what Tesla's been doing in the past, the history, we could see a 20% downward movement in Tesla to around that $165 to $175 price point. So that's definitely going to be our next leg down, is this support and resistance right here, $165 to about $180 per share. So I think there's a good chance that we will see Tesla falling down to those levels. We've seen Tesla extremely overbought right now. And one of the members even shared this tweet here: Tesla is top 3 most overbought in the S&P 500 with 14-day RSI 88. Wow, above 70 is considered overbought, and we have an 88 RSI on Tesla. Okay, so ticker symbol TSLAQ, eating soon, which is the inverse of Tesla. Still looking overextended on the daily. They might try and push it up to 200 SMA resistance, but we got a gap down below. Another comment says, I agree with it 1,000%. Tesla moved almost 80% in a month for no reason because of FOMO. I added $175 shorts for expiration date 2/24, and I fully support that it's going to be there and even lower by then. So it's interesting to see if we do get a sell-off on Tesla over the next following weeks. And because the Super Bowl is today, let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl with Tesla. Also, the Super Bowl commercial will feature Tesla Model Y. Meme kids and puppies see it here first. Tesla has found success with its direct sales model, and despite not having to rely on ads, it maintained a pole position in the industry. Cost-conscious automakers have opted to stay away from Super Bowl commercials or trim down on their spending this year. Tesla's $0 spend on advertising and has always relied on direct to sales or word of mouth to attract customers, even as shunned ads as a promotional tool. The electric vehicle pioneer Model Y vehicle will be in the spotlight in one of the commercial airing during the Super Bowl on Sundays. By the time you're watching this, you probably already saw it. It was the Model Y will appear in the commercials for Popeye, the fried fast food chicken restaurant. So possibly we could see a spike in Tesla stock to above $215 per share on Monday due to the Super Bowl commercial. If something crazy happens during the Super Bowl commercial, or something unexpected, or just does better than expected and everyone's talking about it on social media, the Super Bowl ad with Tesla Model Y in it, then it could be very good for the stock. However, if the Super Bowl ad gets no traction at all, we could continue to see Tesla sell off to those price points projected earlier to around $175 per share. Now let's talk about Coca-Cola briefly, sitting at $59 per share. They are a huge spender in the Super Bowl, and they are reporting earnings during this week. Here you can see they are reporting on 2/14 before the open, which is Tuesday pre-market, okay? And they have a strong history of beating earnings. Here you can see the solid red dot is their actual EPS, what they come in at, and the faded red dot below it is the expected EPS. So typically they do beat their earnings, their projected earnings. However, this quarter, their EPS or their income, their earnings are going to actually be lower than the last few quarters. Keep in mind, this is a great dividend stock with a dividend yield of 2.9%, PE ratio of 26, implying that it's not super overvalued, especially with the moat that something like Coca-Cola carries. Market cap of $250 billion, can still grow with a 52-week high of 67 and a 52-week low of 54. Biggest competitor is up 4% in the past week. Keep in mind, last week on the 9th, they did report their earnings, okay? And they're up around 2% since they did report. If we scroll down, we can even see that they did beat their earnings slightly. So if Pepsi did beat their earnings, there is also a better chance and a little bit more confidence that Coke can beat their earnings as well. Also, the momentum from earnings is not the only positive catalyst. The stock price also, if Coca-Cola has a very funny commercial in the Super Bowl, or everyone's talking about that, it could also cause the stock price to rally this week. With good earnings on top of that, could be a very good thing for some call options, maybe. I'm going to be posting on the close friends list exactly what call options, strike prices, expiration dates, and if I'm going to be buying them on Coca-Cola for earnings this week coming up. Now, here we see an article why Pepsi's earnings are good news for Coca-Cola. Consumer staples in 2022 strength was as much about investor skittishness as the company's actual results and execution, making them a pricey bunch. Yet Pepsi's earnings showed staples are earning their premium valuation, and Coca-Cola should do the same next week. So remember, there are high expectations for Coca-Cola earnings, which means that they could let Wall Street down and analysts down very easily. So there's a lot of risk still. A quick look at Pepsi's recent fourth quarter numbers show there was a lot to like. Organic growth, a particularly important metric for consumer goods companies because it reflects internal improvements, jumped nearly 15% from a year ago, easily surpassing analyst estimates. Pepsi's better than expected results reflected strong global demand and robust revenue that showed only minimal pullback from consumers in the face of higher prices. Like many companies, Pepsi and its staples peers like Coca-Cola have been raising prices in recent quarters to offset the impact of inflation, but the beverage and snack industries in particularly have largely seen consumers accept these increase of prices, which is a good thing for long-term growth also. Okay, I'm not going to read this entire article because it's pretty long, but it's real money. The street.com, just type in Doug Crass, my 2023 stock market Super Bowl indicator, and you'll be able to pull it up yourself. And I'll also leave the link in the description. But here we can kind of see around the Super Bowl. Here we can see it talks about Robinhood, Ford, GM, Apple, Pepsi, Budweiser, T-Mobile, Procter & Gamble, Coke, Intel, Carvana, and other Expedia, other travel stocks that advertise in the Super Bowl. In recent years, the heavier the Super Bowl advertising by a company or industry, the more likely its stock or sector will underperform, and vice versa. If an industry is unrepresentative, it may outperform the major indexes. My 2022 stock market Super Bowl indicator called for a Bitcoin short as cryptocurrency companies were conspiracy advertising very much last year. That was quite persistent as Bitcoin more than halved last year, and its largest player, FTX, filed for bankruptcy. Blah, blah, blah. A year earlier, my 2021, my Super Bowl indicator said to short beer and food stocks as well as Robinhood and to buy auto stocks, which were underrepresented for the first time in a year. Beer and food were indeed 2021's market laggards, and Robinhood shares peaked at $83 per share, now are $11 per share. On the other hand, my indicator said to buy underrepresented auto stock, and we saw Ford stock rise by about 135%, GM rise by 39% in 2021, far exceeds the 26% gain in advance in the S&P 500. This year's group of Super Bowl advertisers include the typical universe of automakers, consumer product companies, and technology-based advertising, while the usual celebrity cameos will include Adam Driver, Tony Romo, Kevin Garnett, Will Ferrell, Serena Williams. The absence of any new or concentration in the industry or specific sector advertising may suggest a dull and or flat year for the markets, perhaps in line with one of my top 10 surprises of 2023, A Tale of Two Cities. However, for the first time since 2013, Apple is replacing Pepsi as the halftime sponsor. Wow. Perhaps it's maybe time to be cautious of Apple shares, question mark. Okay, and then it just goes on and on. And this article is pretty interesting and definitely worth the read. Here it continues and says, for 30 seconds of your time, here's the recent Super Bowl commercial prices in 2019, 5.3 million. A year later, 5.6 million. A year after that, 5.5 million. And in 2022, it's 6.5 million estimated. Ads were sold out on February 3rd. Several 30-second spots were as high as $7 million. In 2023, it's $7 million minimum. One 30-second ad went as high as $10 million, so it just keeps getting more and more expensive. There's also a complete list of the 2023 Super Bowl advertisers. In total, there's 52 companies in the organization that will be advertising during the 2023 Super Bowl. The typical supporting cast of automakers, consumer products, and technology companies comprise the list, including the usual suspects: Budweiser, GM, Ford, T-Mobile, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and many more. There's no industry or category-specific concentration of advertisers this year. The only new advertisers include the American Petroleum Institute and Intel, INTC. There are more online gambling companies than is typical producing Super Bowl ads, including Mobile Strike, Top Game USA, and First Time World of Tanks. So I hope you guys did enjoy that video. I try to make it a Super Bowl special for you guys, and hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, smash a thumbs up on this video, share with a friend. If you want to join my close friends list where I put all my buys, sells, how much I'm buying, expiration date, strike price, option trades, swing trades, long-term trades, and everything in between, click on Success 7. You see thousands and thousands of success stories and students who have signed up at this point. Very recent success. All this week and last week, you can see student success stories. So if you want to become one of these success stories, read a few for yourself so you can see what you can expect in the program. Over $700 made just from one day of holding, 57% gains overnight, 125% gains overnight. Go ahead and message me here, the Daily Stock Market, and Instagram. I'm taking a few more people on my close friends list, so I'll send you over an application so you can fill it out and I can help you out the best way possible. After that, I'll shoot you over my website so you can see all the details for yourself. Thank you guys for all the love and support on every video and on Instagram. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, don't time the market, buy the market. Peace.